Yo, what's good? 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 It's Wednesday, man. We're in the middle of the week. I know what time that means. It's time for the Dope Dialogue podcast. I am your host, Kynard. I got Brittany King in the house with me. What's going on, Britt?
Hey. How are you?
Tired today. I'm not even gonna lie. I was extra late earlier, but it's been a long day for me. I've been up since 3 this morning. It's 7 Central. I think that's 16 hours. I was a little earlier, but look, I didn't came down. The boy's body is telling him he probably needs some sleep, but we here. We here. How you doing today?
I'm cool. I was a little bit lackluster earlier. Still lackluster, low key, but present.
We here in the class. Look, we are happy to have y'all here with us on the Dope Dialogue podcast. Let's do the socials. Kynard KMG for me on everything that you need to know. If you're on the website, you're on YouTube, we like to thank you for being here with us. I think we got a dope show for y'all today. Before I get...
You see how you just cut me out the socials?
Oh, go ahead. Share your socials. I apologize. Go ahead. It is disrespectful. I apologize. That's fatigue on my part.
Okay, right. I can solely be found on Instagram. That's it, and that's all. I'm a simple girl. Britt Lee King, BrittLeeKing. That's it, and that's all. Back to the Kynard show.
Look. I gave you your whole screen right now. They can't see me. Your socials are right there. It say Britt Lee King. I apologize.
God bless
you. It is what it is. We got you here. Look, once again, we'd like to thank y'all for joining the show. Before we get started, really what I want to do is I woke up heavy today at 3 a.m. You know, I saw a couple people I knew on Facebook who had family members that passed away from COVID. It is very real out here. I just want to say, you know, y'all are in my prayers. I hope that, you know, y'all have peace in your family, but do the best that you can to kind of take care of your family as well as yourself during this time because it's real out here, you know? It's real out here. So y'all in my prayers. Clyde said, I just got right to it. I know, man. I'm tired. Brittany gonna give me some smack for it, though. She gonna let me know I was wrong, and I was. I got right to the show. I was trying not to forget what I wanted to say. Honestly, that's really what it was.
COVID's heavy.
COVID is heavy, man. COVID is heavy right now. Like I said, I'm usually, you know, I try to be self-aware in these times. You know, I know today I'm going to talk about chasing your dream or pursuing your dream, but I think that with COVID, at least for me, you know, this made me think about why it's important to try and do what it is you want to do in your life because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? COVID is happening. I think I read on somebody's status where they said, you know, the brother said that they hope that, you know, COVID would hurry up and get out of the way, you know, so they could spend time together, and they never got that chance. So if you're going through it, you got people going through it. We praying for you. We want y'all to be good, man, and do the best to take care of yourself. Word? We gonna get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, look. Tonight, Dope Dialogue podcast, the homie Kynard. I want to chop it up with y'all about pursuing your dream. A lot of the things that I talk about, you know, I find some direct correlation to what my path is, what I'm trying to do. A lot of times I'm trying to teach from things that I've learned. And I would say over the course, not even the past 4 years, I would say a good portion of my life, if there was something that I wanted to do, like I tried to do it. And I know that not everybody has been in that position. Not everybody, you know, has had experiences or been able to be, you know, how can I say it? To overcome the fear of just taking the first step of breaking away from what conventional processes and thoughts are, right? I think a lot of times when we look at it, when we're kids, we go to school, we're taught we have to learn something. Eventually, we have to learn a trade or a skill, and somebody pays you for that trade or that skill. And you can make a decent living. I have people, shout out to my people in the plant, where they've worked, for years, and they've made decent livings, taking care of their families, sending their kids to school. But it may not necessarily have been what they wanted to do. Shout out to my homie Brittany. She doesn't have kids, so she don't have the Disney Channel. But if you had the opportunity to watch Soul on the Disney Channel, the black lead was played by Jamie Foxx. This really was kind of what the movie was about. And I don't want to dive too deep into it because we're going to talk about it probably at a later date after she watches it. But really the essence is that in life, there really is no second chances. And if you're in a situation where there's something that's in your heart and you want to try and do it, I believe that you should take the necessary steps to try and do those things because life is short. I know a lot of times the fear is, well, I will fail. The fear is, what will other people think? The fear is, I may actually have to discuss this and have a conversation with people about what it is that I'm passionate about, right? I'm pro-woman. Some ladies are looking, their dream is to make money, from dudes giving it to them. So they start in OnlyFans and it get popping. And that's their dream. And if they willing to do the work for it and live that life and they don't care what other people say or they don't live with the fear of what other people are going to think, that allows for the freedom to pursue what it is that you want to pursue. Now, I'm not saying people woke up and said, you know what, I want to get on OnlyFans, and that's the way I want to live. But at some point, some women make that decision and they're okay with that because it works for them. I think the hardest part about when you're chasing your dream, a lot of times, at least for me and my experiences in the early parts, as I was walking my journey, there comes a moment where you have to decide, do you really care what other people think? And people are probably going to think you crazy. I mean, I tell Brittany all the time, to a certain extent, I wouldn't argue with somebody who said, oh, the homie Kynard is crazy, because usually I'm making choices that I think fit what it is that I'm trying to pursue. I don't pursue what it is everybody else is trying to do. For the most part, I'm just trying to do the best at living my life and attaining what it is that I want to attain. But I believe that you only have one shot at this life. You only have one opportunity to be who you are. When you wake up in the morning, if it's something that you want and the things that are around you don't serve you, then you have to eliminate those things so you can go higher and reach whatever goals it is that you're trying to reach. I think the hardest thing that I always have an issue with in regards to chasing my dream is it worth it? Because the truth is that you sacrifice a lot. And in the end, all you're looking for is the peace of mind to say, yo, I did what I wanted to do, and it turned out as best as it could. A lot of times people think pursuing your dream ends up with you being in a situation where everything works out, and it doesn't. I also don't think that you pursuing your dream really is about everything working out. Pursuing your dream is about the journey of self-discovery, of self-evolution, of the things and of the actions that you're taking along this path to get where you're trying to go. Following your dream may lead you down a path and you mentally conceptualize where you're going to be, but it may lead you in another direction, and you have to be in tune with yourself to acknowledge it. And somebody say, well, what do you mean? Look, homie, I'm 5'11". I'm not going to be an NBA player, even though I feel like I can coach the game and I have a very high IQ. I just ain't got the athletic ability to do that. I'm not going to be LeBron James. No, not even in my dreams. Like when I lay down to go to sleep, I'm not doing what LeBron James is doing, right? So there's this part of being realistic about the dream that you're trying to attain, but just walking that journey and finding your path. Some people jump head in and they'll do a dream and they ain't got no job, and then they'll look up and they'll have to quit, and then they'll start blaming everybody else on why it didn't work. Sometimes when you start a dream, you got to have a little money anyway. You can't just be having a dream and nothing to invest in it. That's why people ask for bank loans. That's why people crowd share and crowdsource funding. They do these things to raise funds so they can invest in their ideas. So all that being said, I watched Soul. I was inspired, as I always am, by other individuals that are living their truth and trying to attain their dream. All of the people that I try and surround myself with, the creatives, are all individuals that are in some capacity working towards their dream or trying to realize it. And when you see that, you come across all kinds of dope people. I know mad dope DJs. I know mad dope digital artists. I know mad dope videographers. I know mad dope wedding planners that send out boxes and like they're doing dope things. This is what they choose to do. I believe that you should have a dream, but I struggle with the concept of those that have given up or they have the fear, because for me, there should be no fear. Only you can judge yourself. And at the end of the day, the question is, when you wake up or you go to sleep, are you happy with the choices that you're making in your life to try and attain whatever it is you're trying to obtain? That being said, I hit the 15-minute mark. Britt, you know what that means. I've talked too much. I've talked too much. Let's talk about dreams, Britt.
Oh, great. Let's talk about dreams.
Do you think that what's the biggest separator between somebody who achieves their dreams and someone who just accepts what comes their way? Is there a difference?
Probably work ethic and fear.
Work ethic and fear.
Yeah. That'd be my response, because some people are just willing to work to no end to get what they want. Other people will not. Or they'll tire out. And then also there's what happens when you value a certain level of security, or you're afraid to take a certain leap, and then that keeps you from doing it, even though you may be very much so more capable than the next person.
I think I totally agree with you. So if you're watching this right now and you're saying, look, I would love to pursue my dreams, but I just don't know how, because I am fearful that it may not work, or I'm fearful that I might not be able to get it to work. That's one thing. If you're watching and saying, oh, I want to pursue my dream, and you're not willing to work for it, that can't be helped. You can't teach work ethic.
No.
You can tell someone, this is how I overcame my fear. And you would say, well, what would that be, Kynard? I just did it so much that I no longer felt the pressure of will I be able to do this? Will I be able to execute it? I just do. And it may not be ready, and I may not be realizing the full dream, but I'm putting puzzle pieces, right? I like to compare it to like a basketball player. I like to look at like LeBron James, and I wonder to myself, like how does he look so cool with all of this pressure on him playing this basketball game, carrying his team, and then you realize, like, for him, he's shooting in the gym when nobody is watching. He's going over film. He's watching his opponent to learn their tendencies. I believe when you do the work, you're preparing yourself to realize your dream. What are your thoughts? That's what the work ethic is for.
When you do the work, you're preparing yourself
For the moment.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right?
You might not even always know what the moment or what the dream or the moment is.
Right.
But hopefully the puzzle pieces start to fall together at some point. I think there may have been times in my life when I didn't quite know why I did what I did or what caused me to lean one way or the other. But in hindsight now, you'd be like, okay, that's what these skills were for. That's what that experience was useful for. So I typically say just follow your gut and try not to get in your mind too much. I think that's one of the bigger issues. For me, anyway. I ain't going to speak for you because I know you believe that you're a superhero. But sometimes I get in my own way and I overthink a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
I overthink. I do. I mean, I could fail spectacularly.
You're an optimistic overthinker.
I'm definitely optimistic, but I've also lived enough life to tell you that what was waiting for you on the other end is not as bad as you think. Right? Like I've lived enough.
Failure.
What's that?
Except a terrible failure.
Hold on, what'd you say?
I said accept a terrible failure.
Yeah, I failed. I failed a lot.
I hate failing.
If I wanted to tell them, I'd tell y'all the last 3 days for a good portion of the day, I worked on technical stuff trying to get my site up to build foundation. And I've designed the pages 5 times. They disappeared, and I didn't have the formatting right. Then I contacted a guy to help me develop it, and he made me feel stupid, right? He was from Pakistan. He was like, what do you mean? Like I can't do nothing with what you asked. You ain't even got a site. And I'm like, but I got the site. And he was like, but no, you don't. Now I've spent probably a collective of
Pause really quickly. I would just like to say respect for not going into accent, because a lot of times I'm an asshole. So when I feel like there's an accent in place, I try to go into it.
I was about to, but I didn't. Like my comedian self was about to, like you heard it change, but then I backed off of it because I realized we in different times. I ain't want to be disrespectful, but normally,
growth, evolution.
I would dig into that, my friend. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't do it today. Okay, so but
sorry for interrupting. Go ahead. I just had to give you credit because I showed you fell into action.
It is what it is. Look. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is. You almost sung it, guys.
There it is. So we're talking about pursuing your dreams. If you're just now checking in, Kynard, KMG, Brittany King. Fear preventing you from pursuing your dreams. Work ethic getting in the way of you pursuing your dreams. My biggest fear with all of this was I was going to fail. Honestly. I released the album 4 years ago because it was a bucket list item. Right? I was going through some family trauma. And it made me look at life differently, and I was just like, but this is what's in my heart. And it was what I needed. And I was scared. Man, what if people don't like it? Like, what if ain't nobody fucking with it? Because we all want to be liked. We all want people to be like, oh, that's dope. We can walk around and be like, oh, ain't nobody got to fuck with me. And you got to wear that armor. You got to put that armor on. Like, if y'all ain't fucking with me, I'll fuck with me. You got to rock that. But the truth is, it is in human nature, that we want to be a part of something, that we want other individuals to at least respect what it is that we do. I had a whole bunch of fear. But after I released...
Keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
No, I am sensitive about my shit. I want my shit to be dope. I think it is dope. You know what I'm saying? I want people to enjoy it. But then what you have to get over is do you enjoy it? Are you happy? Because in the end, if you're happy with what you're doing and the path that you're on, and that you're trying to grow. So it's different. It's one thing to do it and just be like, all right, well, I'm doing it. No, I want to be the best at it. I want to grow and do all of the other things that's needed to be at the highest level that I can attain. Right? I'm not trying to attain what everybody else has done. I ain't trying to copy, my homie Smackola has Black Tea Talk podcast. Shout out to the homie Smack. Black Tea Talk. He talk conspiracy theories and the government. I jump in. I appreciate the form that he brings, but I ain't trying to do what he do. He does Smack. I'm doing me, but we both got podcasts. I'm just trying to be the best that I can be. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the key to chasing the dream. Just be as good as you.
Sorry, you left me on a moment. I felt like I should have said something, but I was thinking about it.
I tossed it over to you. We had about 5 seconds of dead air.
Get on my nerves.
We are talking about following your dreams, man. What are some of the dreams that y'all got? Watching the movie, there was a part where he was a barber.
I thought we weren't talking about the movie.
Y'all watch Soul. Soul was a good movie. Anyway, you're right. We're not going to talk about that.
I'll be the teacher here. What's supposed to happen is by this time next week, you're supposed to log on to your Disney Plus account, yours, your neighbors, your brothers,
cousins,
your sister, your cousins, Kynard's even.
Facts.
Because
I'll put my password out there for y'all.
He's pushing it over to me because I sure ain't got it. But the thing is, by this time next week, we are all supposed to have had a snack,
that's right,
sat on the couch, perhaps even on the bed, opened up the laptop, pulled up the Apple TV and got to the movie Soul by Pixar on Disney Plus, so we can have a very enriching discussion about the lessons that we learned from watching an animated film. That is all. This time next week, please have watched Soul, and if you don't have Disney Plus, contact your homie Kynard.
Shout out to Dan Esco as well, Kimberly, Kim Cardell. Thanks for jumping in the chat. We glad that y'all here with us. The truth is,
hey Kim.
The truth is if you got game, two fellas, and she got kids, like you can get in like Flynn, yo baby, I heard about Soul. I want to come and watch it with you and your children. And you can get in and mature that relationship a lot quicker. But that's just the game from the homie.
Let's watch some fun deep shit.
Just some fun deep shit. I believe, I don't know how to exist any other way. Yeah, Manifest. That's Kim Cardell. Kimberly. That's the homie. And Danny, you right, man. Soul was a dope movie. That's why we talking about pursuing your dreams.
Dan, come back next week. Don't drop no spoilers, Dan. Don't try to finesse Kynard into talking about it because he really wants to.
I was about to get into it.
I blew it by not watching it. He didn't give me the assignment.
I gave her the assignment today, and I lightweight was like, "Can you watch it in like 2 hours before?" Because I listened. Look, I listened to Jazmine Sullivan today.
Well, see, that's only you just skipping ahead.
Yeah, I am skipping ahead.
What we're doing? Fuck it, we're skipping ahead.
No, not yet, because there's one other thing I want to say before we get there, and we are going to talk about we are going to talk about Jazmine Sullivan's
Jazz.
her new project. But we gonna get to it in a second. If y'all haven't, is it Heaux Tales is the name of the album. And as a man, I can't wait to give my input on that. Once again, it's the homie Kynard, KMG, Britt Lee King with 2 E's on Instagram. We appreciate y'all being here today. We talking about pursuing your dreams. Am I the only one? I see y'all in the chat. Are y'all? I know Manifest is pursuing his dream. Dan, you pursuing your dream? Kim, you pursuing your dream? Are we out here getting it in? You know, my father once told me when I was young, when you decide to do something, if you want to be great at it, you have to eat, sleep, drink. You know, whatever that is that you trying to do.
That's a whole lot.
Look, so the other side, shout out to Timo. Timo, I'm going to play this back. He just called me on the phone. You know, he told me to eat.
Was calling?
No, I think he was one of the engineers I work with, recording some music. So
industry talk. Sorry, Timo, hit you back.
Look, hold on, no, hit you back, Timo.
I'm not making music. I'm busy. I'm booked.
I got look. Well, hold on. That's when you. You know, I got this artist in from out of town. They about to be in L.A. real quick. You know, they signed a deal. And, you know, we making joints pop right now. We shaking and moving. Look, you're an artist. I'm multitasking right now. You know what I'm saying? We podcasting. We setting up studio sessions. But yeah, my father said you got to eat, drink, sleep if you really are trying to attain it. And I think that I never knew what that was until lately. Like, I've been so busy. I've been dreaming about the things that I have to do to get stuff prepared for the music or the business, right? Oh, I got to get these tracks done. I got to set up this site. I got to make sure that I reach out to Brittany and call her so she can tell me she don't got a dream, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get on.
He's so why the fuck do I tolerate this? This is why I was quitting in December.
But we so happy that you still here. We so happy that you're still here.
I was quitting in December. I'm gonna get back on the quit.
But you shouldn't.
Agenda.
You shouldn't. You're dope, and the people want your information.
I'm putting in my 2-week notice. We're gonna talk
about soul, though.
We're gonna talk about soul. We're gonna meet it past inauguration, and then I'm out this bitch because Kynard's disrespectful.
Oh man, it's all love. Dan said he's enjoying this one life that we get, dreams, and that's.
I heard that.
I don't know if it's because I'm older, right? I don't know if it's because I lost somebody who was close to me at an early age that made me see life differently. I just, when I leave here, I want to leave here knowing that I lived as much as I possibly could, that I told stories, that I entertained, that maybe I helped somebody see something that they didn't see, and it pushed them to go do some other things, you know, that they might not have otherwise done if we didn't have a conversation. So that's the whole thing, man. Pursue your dreams, live your life. Look, we're going to get into something else. Let's switch it up. We're going to get in. We got a couple of topics of discussion, not necessarily news this week. It was a slow news week.
Thank God.
Last
time we were here was right at the.
Oh, we was at the precipice.
At the shenanigans of the Capitol building.
Right. The individuals of Caucasus descent.
The Caucasus Mountain Crooks.
The individuals of Caucasus descents from the Caucasus Mountains. Just the behavior has been
tomfoolish.
It's just okay. So here we gonna get into this real quick because I don't want to talk about Trump for a very long time. These are the facts. They attempted a coup. They rioted, broke into. Right now, there are pictures of armed National Guard inside of the Capitol. There are rumors of
sleeping on the
attacks.
floor
Come on.
overnight.
Okay. In the United States of America,
oh my
this
God.
great country, and all I keep coming back to is if Donald Trump was black or Barack Obama and tried to do what he did, they would have killed him. He would have been shot. He would have been dead. He would have been laying in someone's ditch. Y'all would have not tolerated this behavior from a black man. Now, I don't like to make everything black and white. But all I can do is give y'all the perspective of an African-American man. And while I am not surprised, I am shocked. Because y'all say y'all love the police. Britt, explain it to me.
The Caucasus Mountains?
Yes, they love the police, but yet and still, they out here acting like they don't love them.
They don't love the police. They don't care about the police. Hello? It was just their privilege, blanketed as care for police. They don't give a shit
So
about
blue
cops.
lives don't matter?
No. White supremacy matters.
Oh.
So let's just call it a blue thing. And let's just call it that, because that sounds good, as opposed to saying white people are better than y'all and we want to maintain this power that we have. Let's just blanket it and say we're here for the cops and law enforcement.
Okay, so are these individuals from the Caucasus Mountains, Caucasians, are they aware now? Have they learned of their white supremacy needs on television?
I don't know what they've learned.
So
I can't speak for those.
They may not have.
I don't have the experience, and they're never going to come down and say it's not about that. I don't think, because they're delusional.
Well, some of the Republicans voted to not impeach Houseway. It was an insurrection, a coup.
Pardon me.
Yes.
Is this my
mic's on?
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Did we use the word insurrection before the other day?
No.
Also, did we use pandemic much? Like, my vocabulary is expanding immensely. But honestly, what is an insurrection? Have we Googled that?
Let's go to the Googles.
Oh, look at that.
Let's go to the Googles. What is an insurrection? Because if it was Black Lives Matters, it was just violence.
It was just riots.
It's riots. We're out here rioting.
It was just.
Oh, guess what? Insurrection means a violent uprising against an authority or government. Maybe it's a riot.
Okay. Maybe.
I'm confused.
I don't think there's anything to be confused about.
Confused.
What are you confused about?
I'm confused. Do you have to be that ignorant to not see? As a human being.
They don't know what it is to be told no. They don't understand. There's no way that the system that they fixed to rig for their benefit failed them. What the fuck? Something has to be wrong. Turn it over. That's what they say.
So you know who I think about? I think about the young lady who got shot and killed.
I don't.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish, because we gonna walk that whole line. I think about when she woke up in the morning and she was like, you know what?
Oh, shit. I thought you were talking about when she woke up like, shit, I
died. The facts, right? Like, y'all there looking like this. Look, Houseway.
Okay, when she woke up that morning, not
like when she woke up that morning.
Okay,
a lot like the individual in the hood who I'm gonna put the mask on today. I'm gonna go ahead and get my bag, but he don't know that like somebody else is gonna shoot back and you end up losing your life. Now, I don't feel bad for her. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I feel bad. It's a human life. I don't. You supported Trump. He led you to this. It's that simple. I don't have to feel bad if you took a conscious decision to support someone who was crazy?
Not crazy to her though.
Let's ask her now.
Bye,
Exactly.
Sis. Unfortunately, bye, sis.
Now, that's the ugly truth.
She went out like a savage in her brain. She was probably like, hell yeah, I got my Trump flag around my neck. I'm doing this shit. And then, I'm dead.
She's not even a martyr. Like, they're not going to write her name in history books as someone that we've cheered for because she was on the right side of it.
You know what's wild? I don't even know her name now.
Honestly, I don't either. And that's sad.
7 days ago. But she wasn't the only one though. So why does she get why are we gassing her? Like
because
5 people died total. Why is everyone talking about this one woman?
Because it brings a part of the reality that this is a real situation. This is not for fake. And while I do believe it's theater, and I told you, I be with Black Tea Talk, conspiracy talk, I truly believe that they knew this was going to happen back in November. I think that this was the whole campaign from the get-go. And the real question I have in the end is, who does all of this benefit? Because Trump is not going to be the president. And I know he couldn't have possibly thought in his mind, I'm going to just go in here and take this hoe and nobody's going to do it. I know he couldn't have thought that. That couldn't have been the thought process.
I don't think he really thought that. I just thought, I think personally, he knows at this point, last week even, when he incited these people to do all this wild shit, he knew that there was no way he was going to be president. But if I'm about to go out, bitch, let's go out.
All right, so once again, I pose a question to you. There have been many times before Trump was elected that people referred to Trump and ran in circles with Trump and said Trump was like a black man. It was an N-word. You know what I'm saying? The rappers hung out with him. Trump had a hood pass.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
He's a nigga. What does that mean?
They said he was. He ran. Check the pictures. They got receipts. The question.
I don't subscribe to things being nigga-like. So what does that mean?
Well, just his actions. He don't care. He don't give a shit. He gonna do what he want to do. And right now we seeing it, right? The truth is, and I'm trying to stretch your head a little bit, but in essence, Trump.
Issue with what you're saying. Could you tell?
Trump.
You're making me rub my hands together, and I'm feeling away. Go ahead, finish.
As a black man, if you in power, right? You feel like somebody trying to take you out of power. You gonna do what you gotta do, right? It's about the money and the power. I'm gonna hold my ground. This is the president of the United States. He's supposed to have more class. But Trump be doing what he want to do.
All I'm saying is I'm not subscribing to that being anything blackish. I don't understand the connection. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want. I am black. Like, what? No, that just means you don't give a fuck and you'll do what you want. So that, like a nigga shit, that blew my brains out.
I'm just telling you where the connections are at. Okay, I'm telling you where it's been.
But if he wants to say, I don't give a shit, I'm going to do what I want, I subscribe to that being a narcissist.
All right.
Tendency.
Right.
He doesn't give a damn about
anybody else.
What the repercussions are for anyone.
All right, let me ask you this then, because I'm going to push the button. Is this a prevalent thought process in the African American community?
No. Maybe. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, to be honest. I think as far as the law goes, we don't fuck with the laws. So if we think the laws are going to be involved, there's little less of, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want. But if it's like on some me and you, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want. But if me and you involves the laws, maybe I'm going to think twice. Because I ain't trying to go over there with the laws.
Well, I wanted to have a conversation. I don't support anything about what Trump represents. because it's about division. It is about him. You're supposed to be thinking of the nation. Go.
Do you think he finessed his... Okay, let me stop. Do you think Trump is a true racist, or do you think he's a true classist? And in his circle...
Now we talking.
And in his circle, class equates to
now
race.
We talking.
Or in a wide, broad scale, his classism looks like racism.
His classism does look...
racist?
No, I don't think he's a racist. I think he's a capitalist. I think he's a money man. And so then if you ask me, what is the insurrection all about? Like, if the end goal was not to really be the president, because I don't think he thought that. I mean, once again,
I think he's there to show the fuck out and show I got clout.
Yeah, I got right. So now it's about power and money.
Yeah, it's always been that way for him.
Power and money to show you what I'm capable of. I'm that guy. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna get these people to act up and do something that's never been heard of before.
That's all this was. Yeah. This had nothing to do with the United States of America. It never had anything to do with the citizens of the country. This was a flex.
Absolutely. Because even when they got in there, what was y'all doing besides spreading dookie and making a mess? Y'all didn't do nothing. What y'all thought you was going to do when you got in there? Y'all wasn't busting no guns. Y'all wasn't doing nothing. Y'all wasn't throwing papers around.
Taking pictures like...
low-key, taking selfies with cops, shitting in your hand and throwing it on the wall like a goddamn monkey. Like, what were you even doing?
There was nothing militant about that.
Let me bust a couple windows. I think this is pennies over here.
And
I just gave y'all $600 stimmies. This $600 is gonna fix this window.
And what's worse is the ignorant man from Caucasus Mountains fell for it. They were a tool. They were a pawn in Trump's petty game of, let me show you who I am. It's all about me. All right.
I see them.
Let's move off of that. Let's move on to, 2021. Like, this project for me was right on time. For those that don't know, Jazmine Sullivan dropped a project called Heaux Tales.
Come on.
As in hoe, like pro hoe. HEAUX. For those of you who are creatively in tune, the double entendre of Heaux Tales. Man, let that just be where we start in the description of this piece of art. What were your thoughts about Mrs. Sullivan's latest release?
Queen Jazz. All hail Queen Jazz. First of all, only an EP. What the fuck? That means it gets better? Stop it. I'm ready. Per usual, she sings her ass off. Sonically, she's an animal. The gymnastics she can do with her voice, crazy. The instrumentation, the musicality of it all, nuts. I'm not even a fan of mad interludes. Like, that's not my thing. That she gets on my nerves. But these were good ones. These were stories. They made sense. Her features, Ari, stop it. Anderson .Paak, quit playing. Her, losing my mind. What the listen, okay, can you tell I'm a stan?
Hey.
Can you tell?
So then I would tell you to follow up with you being a stan. I knew of just Jazmine Sullivan, but it was never like I was looking for her. I wasn't checking for her. Oh, that's a Jazmine Sullivan track. Oh, that's dope. I like that. Oh, she sounds nice. That's a dope song. But it was never, let me sit down and really kind of listen to this project. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it real. But also, you got to understand, as a man, I may not necessarily be her.
It doesn't resonate.
Right, her target demographic. right? That's
Right.
it's just I'm not wait. Hey, yo, what up, homie? Did you hear that new Jazmine? No, that's not the conversation I'm having, right? And so I think what put me onto the album was CT, right? Charlemagne the God. You know, he said he did a lot the weekend. He was high, he was sober. He listened to the album and he said it was an instant classic. Now, I pay attention to Charlemagne. Okay, cool. And then you brought it up, and I'm like, oh, dang. And I know you know your music. So I was like, all right, bet. And I listened to it. The first thing I'm going to say is sonically, I was like, oh, this is like the production, her vocals, some of the ad libs, the melodies,
the runs.
Oh my God, it was church.
Yeah,
it was church. She definitely came in and did some of it. I know that they're gonna take this away from YouTube, but I just want to play the intro bodies for y'all.
No,
this is just how we started. I'm gonna give y'all a snippet of it. This is how we start the album. Careful, we get too deep. That's 30 seconds of it. And basically, look, for me, it really was a situation where instantly it came in like an interlude. And then when she said, bitch, get it together, you don't know, who did you go home with last night? And you adding bodies. I said, oh, she about to tell a story.
Was he a 4 or was he a 10?
Was he a 4 or was he a 10?
Was it your man's or was it his friend?
Who you didn't went home with tonight? You doing too much.
There's a problem. We got to get it together. Snap out of it, ho.
As a man, a lot of times we don't look at the other side really deeply, right? Outside of feeding our own egos. When we see a beautiful woman, we see someone who interests us. A lot of times it is our conquest. It is, I want to show her I'm that guy and she should be with me. It never really is us taking that introspective look at what she's experiencing or what she's going through. And so instantly when it started, she had me hooked, like from the get-go. Okay, I want to hear the story.
She's a writer. And for me, that's wild because I'm a sonic person first. I can listen to mad trash ass music if the production is on point.
Right.
But she makes me listen to the words.
Yeah. I wanted to have a conversation. And I'm glad that we were talking about it because I really felt as a man, when I got done listening,
perspective.
I felt like she was telling me the hard truth. Like she was forcing me to look at the reality of a young woman in today's dating society and the scene. She talked about creating a Tinder profile. She talked about going to Atlanta and getting a boyfriend and having him take care of, her bodily needs, buying her a behind. She talked about her own perspective on who she was as a woman and the value that she thought that she brought. But she didn't think that other men saw that in her, so she felt like it might have been better to just be a hoe anyway.
The coochie became the currency.
The best interlude to me is I can't remember. I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's Donna's tale or it might be Rashida's tale. I'm just now noticing these are all the ladies' tales. Antoinette has a tale. Ari's tale.
They're actual friends.
Yeah. And in one of those,
Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox. Yes, Ari Lennox tale. Rashida's Tale, Precious Tale. In one of those, it was talking about a woman who was married and she was just tricking off her husband. Like, she knew that in order to kind of get what she wanted, she had to give him some booty, so he would do. And look, that's what really happens. You want your woman to be happy. She does what you feel you need. You give her what she wants, and then everyone's happy in the house.
She says, call it what you want. Like,
it is what it is.
You're a single hoe. I'm a married hoe. We both
tricking.
I'm just tricking with this man that I'm married to, but I'm going to get what I want tomorrow. Watch that.
As well, some of the homies used to say, well, either way it go, you got to pay. You pay your wife whatever your salary is at the end of the year. If y'all doing it like that, it's like y'all make a couple $1 million. I'm married to her. Like, what's mine is hers. And if she leaves, she get half. So in the end, a lot of times monetarily, a woman wants security. And she said that. Like, don't judge me because I don't want to rock with no broke dude.
Y'all can do what you want. But this is what I want.
You know what I'm saying? So as
I know that I don't want to live broke. And I know that I have means to get my own. So why would I look at someone who's doing less than me?
And then told you really what it was about. Not just that she felt that way, but it was based off her childhood. The way that I was raised, I just can't accept certain things. But I think that she celebrated men too and put it down. I think that was a track, where she was talking about being addicted to the sexual relationship, that she was willing to do anything because she felt like, the dick spoke to her. Like she just kept it real and raw. It was an uncomfortable but very pleasant, hard conversation. I think about the current state of women's relationships in today's society. Shout out to Jazmine Sullivan. I can't really wait to listen to it again. And a lot of things don't get run from me like that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
How many times have you listened to it?
I've listened to it twice, and I can't find a weakness. The features are dope. And I know it feel like dick riding, but look, I love when I hear good music. Price tags with Anderson .Paak. Come on. Anderson .Paak, I don't care nobody say Anderson .Paak top 5 right now. If you don't know of him, you're hurting yourself. You need that kind of wisdom in your life. Anderson .Paak is that guy. And his verse.
Shout out to Brandon.
What'd you say?
Well, shout out to Brandon.
Is that his real name? Oh, I didn't even know that. He just Anderson to me. Yep.
He from the city.
He from the city. Y'all see Britt drank some coffee and then flexed on y'all real quick. You know he's from the city. We've hung out every now and again. You know me and the homie. But overall, it's hard for me to throw classic around. But I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been this excited probably about a female artist since like Lauryn Hill.
Well, I'm glad that you're here now.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back. So that's the other thing is that she has cataloged for me to go back. What's that?
Although I know there are features as well, but do you not get excited about her in general?
Once again, if I heard her, cool. But it wasn't something where I was checking for her as an artist, and that's not a knock on her. I mean, that's
not a demo necessarily.
Yeah,
check for both of them. Ari, savage.
Well, and I may need to get more into, the wave.
Don't worry.
The question becomes, when do I listen to it? Right?
What you mean?
And the question for me is now, like, I have to feel like I have to listen to it in certain moods. Like when I was getting set up, I was super tired. Once again, I've been up since 3 this morning, and I was tired setting this up. I threw on Benny the Butcher. The Butcher is coming. Tat, 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 tat. Look, I was mad hype. My whole energy changed.
I can't. It's a lot.
The butcher is coming, nigga. Like I just
my forever vibe is like a Jazmine Ari her, like half sleep, probably with some incense or some shit. Like that's
you sage it real quick. You gonna run through the sage.
Smudge the whole place down. Might make some brunch.
I got you. I think
my vacuum.
I think I have many different moods, right? I'd really kind of get into my rock pop when I'm driving the Caucasus and I'm doing that. I'll get into their little oldies, but then there's sometimes where I want that gangster rap. I just got to change my mentality, that drug rap, that I'm boss rap. You need that energy. And then sometimes you want to sit down and you want to really listen to the woman's perspective. I just felt like this was on time for me because I just wanted to hear some good music. 2021 is not started off.
Also, you're working on a project.
Yeah,
right?
No, I am working on a project. I am.
So use this as a catalyst.
Yeah.
It works parallel.
Yeah, most definitely. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that as a writer, my hope is to always tell stories along the line of Jazmine Sullivan. When you told me like she's been doing this, that made me want to go back and be like, what other stories is she writing about? Because this album played out like a movie to me. Like I can't wait to see what her visuals are. You know? Like it was that dope. And to me, those are the albums with substance. Get Through the Day for me being an LP, if you listen to it from front to end, it's one conversation in regards to a relationship. It's introspective in some parts. It talks about society. And so those kinds of bodies of work, 444, what's the one by Beyonce? Born as a King. What is the name of that one? Is it Lion King? Magic King? Black is King. That's a story. Mm-hmm. And so I just was impressed because I got superstar vibes from the story. That's what, like Beyonce type of feels. Like, oh, she dope.
Jazmine is a problem.
Facts.
Jazmine's a problem.
Facts. Like she need her flowers. And so, yeah, that was a dope project for me as a man. Like I said, I hadn't really gotten hype. Not like that. I've listened to Nicki. I've listened to Cardi and some of the other ladies and Megan, and I'm not even saying Jazz is a rapper. More she's an artist. I feel like she can do whatever she want to do. She can rap. She can sing rap.
Yeah, she was busting a little bit on a couple of them.
Bars,
like,
bars.
Cadence. We see what it's doing.
Funny to me. Yo, the homie Manifest said Britt never spoke about the E42 short battle. He's interested to know what you thought about that versus.
Did we talk about
we
that?
Didn't. We missed a couple weeks because of the holidays.
Well, we can talk about it. It's fine. We can do that. I was in the house. I did have myself some champagne. I popped a bottle and sat here in front of my computer / TV. I joined a Zoom call with lots of people from the Bay Area. It was raggedy and it was great at the same time. That's the scene for y'all. Champagne, E40, Too Short, lots of head movements, hyphy situations. Overall, I felt like the shit was super duper cool. It was a win for California in general. I felt like it was your uncles being drunk at the barbecue, talking shit and having a good ass time and talking about all the things that they used to do. And E40's dance moves, classics. They did talk a lot, but that was okay.
So that was the thing for me. I felt like they was talking a ton. Like, and the truth is,
it was giving game. It was Bay Area.
Look, I felt like all they was giving was game. Like nigga, we gonna give you the game. You know how the Bay we do. We gonna give you the game. We here. It's E40. But I agree with you.
Hey, talk to him, Water. Sir. Todd, please.
Oh,
Just hey, water, talk to him. Okay, well, it was a lot of game. It was a lot of Bay Area pimp hood nigga talk, but it was great. They have hits on hits on hits. I feel like that was one for me anyway, and I could be biased because I'm a Californian native. I'm a Bay Area ambassador, resident for many, many years of this life. The hits just kept on slapping. Like they just hit you in the head with another hit. Be like, damn, I forgot. Oh, I forgot that was that song too. And they went for a long time. I think they just had to shut them down. Like, all right, niggas, go home.
yeah, they talk they
We're
butts
tired
off.
of this shit. I don't think there was a real winner. I take it back. E40 wins in my spirit, but very, very, very slim margin. Super slim. Almost doesn't matter slim.
I think the people won. People won that day.
That's it.
People won that day. Look, let's do it. Let's get in off the type.
But we sung it.
Off the top. Look, before we do though, we're gonna shout out Jazmine Sullivan once again. Check out her new album, Heaux Tales. Definitely a solid project. I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm not that big yet.
Y'all go listen to the girls EP already. If you're really about that action,
Tell them.
Kynard,
I'm gonna go back.
buy it.
I'm gonna go back as well once again.
Not just stream it, but buy it. I feel like it's buy worthy.
See, look, that's what you gotta create.
That's how I feel.
That's what you want to create. That's a fan right there. Somebody that's gonna buy it and they don't got to. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
That they can stream it, but it's that dope to you that you buy it.
yeah, pay a couple
That's
dollars.
dope.
Pay a
I love
couple
that.
dollars. Buy that girl music.
Pro artist.
So the assignments are for this week, class.
I love it.
Distance
I love
learning.
it.
Assignment A is go stream Heaux Tales. However, if you feel so inclined like I will, you'll be buying it because we support Black women. And if you don't buy it, you do not support Black women. Look, that was some guilt for that ass. Assignment number 2, support more Black shit. Go watch Soul on Disney Plus, and if you don't have it, talk to Kynard, and he will just go ahead and push you his account login because we all need to watch it by next week and have an open discussion about the lessons.
First of all, Brittany's out of line. You'll have my inbox flooded with people trying to Disney gonna kick me off and ban me.
It's like no whole shit. They go like, you got logins all over the nation. Like, my nigga, where are you? We're in the panoramic.
Facts.
You shouldn't be traveling.
That's hilarious. That's funny to me. Kynard KMG on all the socials. It's the homie Britt Lee King with 2 E's. Britt Lee King. Get it done. Dope Dialogue Podcast. Look, if you had an opportunity to watch or you're listening, we thank you. We appreciate your love. We thank you for being here as well. We will have the podcast posted up tomorrow on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and all of the other podcast, what do they call them? Podcast streaming providers. There we go.
Oh, bless.
So look, this is off the top. This is the part of the night where Brittany asks me a couple of questions and I have to give my hot take off the top of the head. And Brittany, what do we have for today?
Anal beads.
Damn, we out the gate.
Starting off hot. I figure why not? Dive in. No pun.
I've only seen in porno. Never in real life. Never. I've seen how they've been applied in video, but
you never gripped a. Have you ever held on to them?
I've never had them in my hand. I've never seen real life application.
Me either.
It doesn't. I don't know as a man how it's pleasing to me to watch something coming out your ass, But if it feel good for you, baby girl, do your thing. That I don't look at that and be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to smash that. That isn't. That's not the vibe for me.
If anyone has experience, excuse me, is this thing on? If anyone has experience with anal beads, we would like for you to call in next week so we can understand the mechanics behind the operations of the devices. Thank you so much.
Please let us know.
I don't get it
I've
either.
seen it, and I don't know if it's, just a visual thing that you want to put on camera to be like.
I don't think it's visual. Those things get big. I don't.
It looks like it might be hurt, but then she'll be looking all back at the camera, like she performing for and then I instantly throw that off, and I call my grandma and apologize for telling her to pray with me for the Lord, because I don't know what's going on and how this showed up. I mean, like, Father God, Lord Jesus, what is it that we're watching? Human beings are nasty individuals, but then some people may like it. So, what we got next?
I mean, you put beads and fists and other things in holes. So, what's a little toy bead thing, right?
Yeah, just a little bead out your butt. That's all it is. A little bead coming out your butt.
Little butt bead
little
action.
Booty bead action. Get a couple beads popping out your butt. And clearly, it's going to get the party started. Like, how does one have that conversation? Hey, babe, bring out the beads.
Maybe the beads are already in there.
Oh shit! Babe, I've had these beads in here all day. Can't wait to put them out.
Can you bloop them out for me?
Bloop. I mean, and I know you had to have like some Chipotle or something.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You all stopped up. Yeah, it's a no for me on the beads.
I should do a whole off the top about butt stuff.
Oh, you out of line. What's next? What do we have next and off the top? Let's get off the anal beads.
Betty White.
Who?
Betty White.
Oh shit.
She about to be 99.
Oh my God.
I like to take you from extreme to extreme, God.
Betty White. How
much do you hate me today?
Damn, so Betty White was fine when she was young. I didn't see the photos. Damn, 99.
Sis is old. She doing all right.
Okay, can I be honest? The only thing I could think of with Betty White is like that dude who did he did a song and he was like, "Rip for Betty White, she not dead yet, but this is for when she died." I was like, what?
I've never.
You never heard that? Oh, somebody was doing a parody rap song, and he was rapping about the future. He was like, "Rip Betty White, she not dead right now, but this for when she died." I was like, "Oh no."
Sometimes you got to take the internet away from
the internet is mad wild, right? Mad wild. January 17th, Betty White is going to be 99. And at this point, I hope she makes it to 100. I would be saddened.
Absolutely.
I would be saddened if in 2021 or early part of 2022, we lost Betty White at 99.
Protect Betty from COVID, please, because she ain't.
Well, I mean, we should probably just freeze her, put her like in a cryogenic freezer, and let her live there for a couple months until we can get this thing together with COVID. So next,
you said put a whole live bitch in the freezer.
At least till January 17th, 2022. What we got next?
Far out on her birthday.
Gotta make it to 100, Betty. And hopefully they give her a party, right? With all she got to do the balloons. You can't not do the 100. The ladies do the balloons. When they 21, they got their 2 and they 1. Betty White need to get a whole photo shoot with the 1 zeros. Betty White, let me plan your look. A matter of fact, get with Miss Brittany King. We can plan that birthday out for you, Betty. It'll be the best 100 year birthday party ever in life.
Don't worry, Bets. I got you. Hundreds on everything.
What we got next?
Funkmaster Flex take on why Hove will never be on social media.
What was his take? Give me that real quick.
So Funk Flex did a short interview shit, and he was popping shit about Hove when the dude asked him. He said, "Don't you think Hove would be the most influential person on socials if he were to do it?" And Flex was like, "Psh, he could never. He's sensitive. He's a weenie. He watches Instagram from burner accounts. He's on socials, but he can't be there in his real life because he can't take the heat."
Okay, really hot take. This is probably because he wasn't scared to show that he got some plastic surgery done on his body.
My nigga, you got your titties removed. Shut up.
I think that Funk Flex sound like he want everybody to be him.
Oop.
And you just, as a person, you know, you can't expect because you want to share on video the doctor sucking fat out of your body that other people can't handle being on social media. I would look at Jay-Z and be like, well, Jay-Z is a businessman, and sometimes there's more power in silence. You can move behind the scenes. You ain't got to be announcing your every move. You don't have to let people know that you're getting your titty fat sucked out. That ain't for everybody, man. You know, if anything, we should commend Jay-Z for not being a clout chaser, because at that point, what can Jay-Z do, you know, in social media that's going to benefit him besides hurting himself by everybody's, oh, well, look at what Jay did. Oh, Jay did this. That doesn't make money, in my opinion.
His wife barely shows up on socials. It's only when she has a project she's like, I'm gonna give you niggas a little piece.
Do you know how big Jay-Z is? Yeah, Jay-Z ain't gotta be public.
Probably the biggest rapper.
Yeah, he's bigger than Drake. And Drake is probably the hottest rapper, but like Jay-Z is the godfather.
I guess Drake would be the hottest rapper, I guess.
I mean, he's had the hottest run. The last 10 years of our Drake era. Let's be real. When he leaves, the light-skinned delegation will be hurt. It'll be a severe blow because light-skinned niggas been running rap for the last 10 years. But that's a whole nother.
They don't have to worry, though, because if Drake leaves, they always have you in a fur in the snow.
Oh, yeah. No, facts.
On your Instagram.
No, look.
So
I'm gonna put the light-skinned delegation on my whole back. Okay? I'll be sure. We coming back. Heavy D. The 90s, I'm bringing the whole vibe back. Mink, in the snow, in Texas. The only time is snow.
I'll be sure sick. Remember I told you earlier, I'll be sure sickly?
What's that?
I'll be sure sickly. Remember? We talked about it like yesterday or something? Yeah, he's sickly. He didn't tell us why he's sickly, but he'd be up in the hospital.
LB, we did talk about LB.
Get to the Instagram and he'll show you his life, his sickly life. I'll be sure can't die.
Yeah, shout out to Albie Sure. You know, let's hope that brother gets well. Wait a minute, hold on. Mr. Darnell Rogers said Drake is not the hottest rapper. I would say currently it's Lil Baby, but I'm looking at the last 10 years. Lil Baby, if we go on number wise, is him, Megan, but he's probably running the game right now, has the most streams. But I would say Drake has the most influence over the genre. Yes, Brittany.
Lil Baby or
Little Baby?
I can't tell all the babies.
It's apart. A lot of babies.
Okay,
and I think Da Baby was the hottest new artist. Him and Meg and Lizzo kind of fell in that. Darnell said that Drake was only hot because of money. I agree with that, but I also think it's the influence, Darnell. It isn't. It's Drake. When Drake drops a project, like the world lightweight stops. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be mad. The light skin coalition is out here pausing people.
Okay, here's the thing. As of lately, the world does not stop. He hasn't dropped very many projects. He might drop a single here or there.
I actually think that the beef with Pusha T was beneficial to him because it was something to talk to. Even though he lost, it gave him something to talk about or to be mad to rap about. So, once again,
Drake is extremely good at finding the way.
Yeah,
before it gets super duper hot, he's like, "What is the pulse? Let me get on it. Let me find the leader of said pulse, and then let me put them on, and then I'm gonna be on a song with them, and everybody wins. Right. We get more money."
Now, if somebody said, is Drake the hottest in the streets? No, I think the streets got their own culture. I mean, I think they fuck with Drake, but I don't think like Drake is the number one go-to for the streets, right? I think you got other artists that's doing that. But when I look at Drake, when he goes to drop a project, it's influential. In his crib, bringing that on, doing the interview with Elliot Wilson, and that podcast, the influence that he brings on the game as well. When he touch a younger artist, that our younger artists usually blow up. He's definitely an elder statesman in the game. And so, I mean, he is. He's been in the game for 10 years. But Drake is somebody where I feel like Drake has to be tuned in to being public, being social somewhat. Jay-Z ain't got to do that. Jay-Z is beyond that. Jay-Z will come on social media and fart, and everybody will feel a certain way about that. Did y'all hear Jay-Z farted on the camera the other night? And it was one of the most glorious farts we had ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and by the way, Beyonce and Blue was in the room, and they said it smelled bad. And that would be a whole vibe, right? That'd be a whole story. That's how big that man is. So it doesn't benefit Jigga to be
I'm
public.
wondering. I might have a hot take.
Hold on, go ahead.
Why'd you say hold on?
I had to get your screen up. I want to make sure they see you with your take.
Okay. I'm wondering if artists like Kendrick and Cole were as publicly visible and active socially as a Drake, would Drake be as hot as he is?
I think that the appeal from a Drake and a appeal from a Kendrick Lamar and a J. Cole is because they aren't. I believe that their separation allows them to go deep into their minds about what it is that they want to express in the projects that they release. So if they were as public,
also,
I'm not sure if they would be as popular, in my opinion.
Also, they don't have the sex appeal currency that Drake has.
Correct.
No shade.
Yeah, well, I think, but I think that Drake sells the sex.
That helps him.
Yeah. Drake sells the abs and the chin and the Bieber look and the little heart in his, he had the heart in his head with the Bieber bangs. You know what I mean? He do like heartthrob shit. You're like light skin shit. Like being, in the winter while the snow is falling in a mink coat posing. He does shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Put his shirt off though, but still with the coat.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that we get those vibes. Like J. Cole is not giving us the sex vibe. I like how he talks about sex, right? About his first experience. That was on 2014 Forest Hills Drive, right? If I'm not mistaken, he has the conversation about it, but it's in a very J. Cole-ish way. It's not in a, I'm that guy, I'm in her feels. And, This Dick Ain't Free is famous from J. Cole. He just made it a whole poem. He gives you his perspective, but it's a different lane. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Drake still appeals somewhat to the 18 to 25-year-old girl who, he's doing his And call me on my cell phone.
Not even just the 18 to
Drake
25,
is,
but probably
well, he's 18 to at least
probably
35.
like the 15 to 35.
Yeah. They love him. And so that is what gives him this influence. The homie Manifest said, I'm not a fan of Drake, but Homeboy has held it down as the hottest rapper for a decade. No doubt he murdered a street clown, Meek Mill. I'm sure he could have murdered more, even though he's a yuppie. And that's the thing. I think that he transitioned over to the street because he wasn't afraid to handle the beef. As well, he was connected with Jay Prince. So there's not really much he got to say on street shit. Once you get the stamp from that, you certified, ain't nobody really going to mess with you to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? And so that cosign, I think, once you get that cosign, you go there. And then I love Jay Prince. He said, Drake is family. You like y'all know what it is. Don't get it twisted. The homie said Drake is family. It just is what it is. So,
How did we get here?
Huh?
How did we even get here?
Light skin capability. Light skinned individuals. Well, let's keep it real. Funk Flex said that.
Okay, that's how we got
Funk Flex said also, not just that about Jay, but he also said he thinks that Drake, minus the reference tracks, could legit be the GOAT. Like, he felt like Drake was that powerful, but he said he's only top 5 due to the reference tracks. But anybody that's in the music industry knows your top 10 rappers, yeah, they say, such and such wrote that. Nah. Not everybody that's in your top 5 is writing their own material or doing their own hooks. There are writers and songs are submitted to multiple people. And that's really listening to Jazmine Sullivan. That's where I miss having a physical CD because I really want to read the credits. I want to know who wrote this. I want to know who produced it.
Details on like Spotify and Apple Music won't tell you that.
I didn't find it. When I pulled it up, I was looking for it. So what we got next? We did that along one. Let's move on.
Sorry.
We're going to look up that. I want to see who wrote it, though.
Same.
She ain't got her question.
Are we both
what?
Oh, are we looking or?
No, we're not looking. I'm looking, but what we got next?
The next
topic.
A topic is the Busted Challenge.
I'm here for the Busted Challenge. I'm even here for the ones where Rob Kazi out of New Orleans, he came on as a preacher with some holy water. You know what I'm saying? Old girl was doing her thing and she turned to the side and she went to drop down and he threw the holy water at the thing and said, y'all better bust open a Bible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've liked all of the adaptations. Shout out to women. Women are, doing their thing. I think you showed me one of the, what's that?
Shout out to black women.
Shout out to black women.
We're low-key dominant.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I know what my ministry is. I know my knees aren't built for it. I also know
said,
that
I know where my ministry is.
Yeah, the Astroback is not as up to par as I would like it to be putting it all over the internet because I've seen some phenomenal throwback. And I don't want to be a part of those who aren't really giving it like somebody tells us giving it. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
Also, if you go on Spotify and you tap the 3 dots, the little info, you scroll all the way down the bottom, they'll tell you song credits, who wrote it, who produced it.
All right, so I hit the 3 dots to say go to Artist Radio, follow, report, share.
You have to go in the particular song.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to the particular song. Sorry, y'all. Sidebar. We got to find out who was doing stuff with what'd you call it? With okay.
So if we go to say on it,
all right, show credits. All right, performed by, and see now, let's talk about it. Pick Up Your Feelings, performed by Jazmine Sullivan. It's written by Blue June, Shy, Audra Mae Butts, Brittany Shy Coney, Denicia Blue June Andrews, Jazmine Sullivan, Kyle Coleman, Michael Holmes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is
Writers.
8 writers on one song.
3 minutes.
And all of those people get credit
paid.
for, she got to pay them. They have to be paid. These individuals get paid. All right, let's look at the intro. And I know we can do what we want to do. It's our show. Jazmine Sullivan, the album was that dope. Y'all ride with us. All right, the intro was written by Dwayne Weir and Jazmine Sullivan, produced by Key Wayne. There's 2 writers on the intro. I'm going to go do one more.
Let's put on it. On it.
On it?
Yeah.
Ari Lennox, let's see what this one is. Performed by Ari Lennox and Jazmine, Carl McCormick, a man, Courtney Salter, Jazmine Sullivan, Kevin Wooten. So like when we go,
surprise, Ari didn't even write on it.
Look, this is the thing that people have to understand about music, and that's why I get what they're saying about Drake. Like Drake has reference tracks, Drake has writers, Kanye has had writers. It's just how music is done. And you don't know what a writing credit could be. Sometimes people get writing credits and they didn't write. It's just a part of the contract and the way the money falls out.
Honestly, who the fuck even cares? Because we always say 2 heads are better than 1, but it just doesn't apply when it's music. Like, that's stupid.
A lot of times
collaboration, if you fly shit no matter what.
Well, so I had a homie tell me about one of my rhymes, and he said, yo, you should change the words here. Like, it's a dope rhyme, but it kind of get, so change it. And he would get a writing credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they get a homie credit for that.
Or you get a homie credit. You get a point. You know what I'm saying? Either way it goes, when it comes to music, a lot of times it's collaborative. Sometimes you get writing credit for helping with the melodies, right? You may have given input on how the melodies are to be sang. And so, but I think it makes for a dope project. That's why you got all these writers here. Everybody getting paid. So that's us going through the credits and looking at Jazmine Sullivan's dope album. We didn't gas her up real heavy today. Hopefully y'all rocking with it. So, all right, what we got next on Off the Top?
Near-death experiences.
Shit, you killing me.
Sorry. So I'm watching this thing on Netflix. It's like a docuseries. It's called Surviving Death. If y'all want to get into that too. But that's why
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. We'll continue.
That's it. I want to know what you feel. Go ahead. Tell me.
I hope not to have them.
They sound pretty lit though.
Yeah, I don't want to find out. I don't want to have a near-death experience. I have had.
If it's near-death, you don't die. So you can still come back and
still, it's living with. Okay, so I'll just keep it real. I do more driving than the next man. I'm on my car, in my car a lot. And I do remember one time where I was, believe it or not, I was on my phone trying to get to a playlist. And I had my head down. And I went through an intersection. And I easily, and it was red. Like I ran it. And I had to have God on me because the cars, they missed me. You know, it's like it was out of a movie when you run the light. Like this car coming from this side, they hit the brakes, and all you could see was the face. Like, what the fuck? And then the other car, like right in front of me as I'm going forward, and it was too late. And as I drove, I just said, thank you, God, for blessing me and getting me through that, because that could have been ugly. I put somebody else in danger. I put myself in danger. You know what I'm saying? And that was the last time I did that. Now, when I get ready, I make sure my shit is good before I start driving. You know what I'm saying? And the next week and a half, the way that I live changed because I wanted to take, I was thankful for life. You know, like I wanted to appreciate the things that I had. Now, I do a ton of driving. It's the only time that it happened. It's the only time that I ever had an experience where I ran it and I was wrong. And all it takes is one. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want near life or near death experiences because it changes the way you think.
I don't want them for myself either because I would rather just have life experiences.
Right. I want life experiences.
Not close to death ones. But from watching the show, what I can understand is they're very peaceful and serene. And if it's a near death experience, it'll feel that way. If it's like you're gonna die or it's frantic. But if it's near death and you don't die and you make it, even though it could be like what seemingly is a frantic situation, you're in a very tranquil state.
Oh.
That's the common thread among all these people.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I get it.
It's like, we're not worried. It's all
I get it, but I don't want to experience it. You know?
I don't
rather
think I want to.
You tell me your story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Manifest said, yo, man, that's crazy. Yeah, it was. It was. And I had to check myself.
Let me tell you this wild shit real quick on one of these ladies. She was kayaking in some foreign fucking country, you know, white people shit. And her canoe or whatever the fuck, it went under the water. She had a near-death experience. She met these people, these beings, and they told her, it's not your time. Go back to your body. I know you think this shit is lit, but you got more shit to do. So she was like, I think this is fly up here, but I'm straight. I'll listen and I'll go back. They said, but before you go back, you have children and you have to take care of them and know that unfortunately one of your children are not going to live very long, but we will meet him when he gets here. And she was like, y'all fucking bugging. All right. I heard you. I'm going back. She said she felt for the longest time, I think when it happened, her son was like 12 or 13. She said she felt like her son wasn't going to make it to adulthood because these people told her this. She was tripping until he was 18. And she was like, whew, my kid is a grown-up. I can relax. She never told anyone anything until she told him when it was like a day before his 18th birthday. He was like, Mom, you're bugging. A year later, he was, he was skiing, I believe. And he got in a freak accident. He skied off of a hill. A car hit him.
Oh my God.
Anyway, if y'all want to get into it, it's called Surviving Death.
And this story was on that show?
Yeah, it's like a docu-series. So I've gotten to like episode 4.
Yeah,
the first one is like
that's some heavy shit.
Yeah, it's wild. It's interesting. Mediums, all kind of
that's heavy. I believe that. I think a lot of times most people know, or at least they're cognizant. I know my dad told me his father knew. My mom knew. She told me. I didn't want to believe it, but she told me. She was like,
she knew.
She just knew.
Her time
she knew the time was coming. We knew. I mean, you could sense it, but a lot of times you don't want to accept the reality. You know? I think that, I was thinking about death today just in regards to, like I said, I woke up and COVID. I saw a couple of messages and, I always find myself in this unique position where it's like, I'm really trying to build myself and build my business for when we open up because it's the only thing that I can kind of hold on to. Is this hope that when we open up, I'll be ready and I'll be prepared. I'm putting my business, or doing the things I need to do. And some of that requires me to be out and about. Like I said, I'll Uber and Lyft. I'll wear my mask and I'll roll down the window and, I'm trying to make money to invest in my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so then it'll come over me like, once again, you're taking calculated risks. But you know what also is a risk is getting in your car. You know what I'm saying? Going to the Capitol building to do your job.
Listen.
I
think maybe I started watching it because maybe, I don't know, maybe I had like I think COVID maybe made me think about death,
Yeah.
which is weird.
No, it's very real.
And I was just like, people are really dying.
They dying.
For real,
For real, for real. You know?
So then I was like, I guess it just made me think about death. So then I was like, let's scroll on the good old interwebs and see what's cracking. And then I came across that.
Well, I think that it's okay to talk about it. I think the hard part is like people, you can't ignore the number, right? You can't ignore the magnitude of death that we're getting to experience, either it being by a constant reminder on a news channel or it being in the articles. The saddest part about all of it is that they play in politics with our lives. But,
for sure.
You know, I get it.
I have a homeboy he's a coroner, and he's in LA, and he's like, we get calls to pick up bodies, and the morgues are like, we don't have room. You can't bring that person here. Call the next one. We don't have room. You could put them in the truck.
Yeah.
But there's no space inside.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It really is. I mean, I think that a lot of times the only time we deal with it is when we feel like it directly affects us. But this is something that we're all experiencing at the same time. So I could see how you could look into it, but I would prefer not to have near-death experiences. Even talk about them. Next.
No-fly arrest.
No-fly arrest? What is that?
The people on the no-fly list that are getting arrested as a result.
No-fly or arrest?
No. No-fly arrest. They're getting arrested because they are on the no-fly list based on their participation in the shenanigans that happened at the Capitol building. These white people are crying and throwing a fit because they're getting snatched off planes, trying to fly back to where they live.
You know how we felt about that lady getting shot, killed? So.
Okay, let's just move on.
Next. I don't care. You can't fly at all. I hope they keep you.
The last season of Insecure.
I haven't watched the first season.
You're not supporting Black.
No, I support her. I love what she's doing. I think that her thing is going to be, for me, that's going to be one of the ones when I got some time, I take like a week or two off, like then I'll just binge watch it, you know? And then I'll be all late to the party and shit, and everybody be like, nigga, you stupid late. Like I just watched Breaking Bad. What's that?
We was gonna be like, we was talking about that 2 years ago.
Insecure?
Yeah, that when you finally get onto it and you like watch it, you're gonna be like, yo,
yeah, facts.
Be like,
facts.
That was 2 years ago.
I heard it's really good. I heard some of my homies watch it too. I heard some of the homies watch it.
It's good for the demo.
I probably need it. I'm so involved in work. I'll be so busy. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Next.
Fine. The vaccine, are you going to do it?
Actually, I'm not going to lie. Upon seeing, said individuals who were passing away, and right now we had to remember we're in the middle of a second wave. And the truth is some of the doctors I've listened to, spoke to, said is really behaving a lot like the Spanish flu. Like the second wave might be the biggest wave. And that there will probably be a third wave to follow. Yes. I do have an underlying condition. I am a diabetic. And my fear, though, is once again, what are the side effects? Is it going to be reliable? I know you got to take 2 shots. I've done some investigation on how the protein goes in to create the antibodies. And I am probably going to do some investigation, but I'll probably look to get vaccinated earlier than later if they allow it due to my underlying condition, because people are dying. And, I got responsibilities and people who are looking to me to be able to take care of them and be here for a while, So yeah, I think that, it's not take my gun out and go find the nearest vaccine person and, I gotta have it, but it is, hey, what's the next steps? Where are we at? Because my father has moved here, and I don't want to get nobody else sick. I don't want to get sick. So yeah, I think I'm gonna look into it and see what my next steps are. You said your dad had it, right?
Yeah.
So
he got it. I want to say probably at this point, maybe like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And this weekend he tested negative. I also had a great aunt who passed away this weekend. Thank you. She was older, so when she went into the hospital, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
She might not. That might be a tough one to get out. But my mother is a healthcare worker, and she sees COVID patients all day long. So she's already gotten her second vaccine shot at this point.
Yeah. She got the second one?
Good. Yeah, she got the second one this past weekend.
Shout out to the frontline workers. We appreciate you. You're a nurse aide. You helping people. Mm-hmm. We need you, and you risking your life. We just want to say thank you.
Listen, because I'm tired of taking calculated risks. Because everything's a calculated risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of calculated risk. It just is.
How long does this gotta wait?
Right. What we got next?
It's a lot. Sister Act 3.
Remind me, did it come out already?
No.
It's coming out.
It's gonna be a Tyler Perry creation.
Is Whoopi Goldberg in it?
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it. I like the first two. I love that we discovered Lauryn Hill there. For a lot of us, that was our first interaction with Lauryn. That's when, that was triple threat. She was a great actor, and then musically rapper. Like that was life. I love the Sister Acts. I think they're great family movies.
I do too. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah, and I fuck with Whoopi. Whoopi is the homie. So
I hope Tyler doesn't Tyler it.
No, he will, man. But I fuck with Tyler
think so?
too. Yeah, he'll probably. I want it to be different. I don't want it to be like it was. You know what I'm saying? Let's grow.
What if Lauryn comes back? What if Lauryn is like the mother of a new singing kid? What if Lauryn shows up? Is it? I'm hopeful. She'll probably be late.
Oh,
she ain't
stop
gonna make
it. Lauryn Hill ain't coming back. Lauryn Hill living her best life. What we got next?
I think that's it. That's all I got.
That's all we got?
Yeah, that was 10 things.
Oh, that's dope. Look, to everybody that's shout out the homie Manifest said condolences.
Thanks, Manifest. My brother calls you Manhattan.
Manhattan. Straight up. Look, we want to say thank you. More importantly, we want to tell you to be safe. We understand that a lot of us are taking calculated risks out here to try and live our life. As human beings, we are meant to, we were created for community. And so as you go out, you do what you got to do. Please wear a mask, wash your hands, take care of each other. For Brittany, Britt Lee King, I'm the host, homie Kynard, KMG, and we out.